What's something you're glad your friend introduced you to? Rock climbing. It's become my favorite form of exercise. Not to mention how fun it is. Edit. For everyone asking, a rock climbing gym will have all the resources you need to get started if you don't have any climber friends. He introduced me to his closest friends, all really great people. Now we all have good times together and share so many things of mutual interest. It's really opened up my world in a way I hadn't previously thought possible. I feel like everything I like was introduced. I'm shit at discovering things on my own. But I'll say sushi. New music. It's always hard for me to figure out what I like, and they helped give me so much from the experiences I got out of it. D&D. I would have never played otherwise, and it's so much fun. The fact that you can cook your eggs in your noodles while you're boiling them. Minecraft. I was mid-20s and they spent years trying to get me to play, but I thought it was a kid's game. I finally played one day and loved it so much that I spent the next 4 years way more into it than they ever were. Although I'd been a lifelong Stephen King fan, I had always avoided the Dark Tower series. A friend kept pushing me on them, insisting I would love them. Stephen King cowboys? No thanks. Finally he bought me the first 4 in a paperback gift set. Series is now one of my favorite reads of all time. I can't thank him enough for insisting. Caw at work. Sleep. Seriously. I stayed up all night. Had shitty sleep hygiene and poor mental health. We lived together for 6 months and she helped me get on a sleep routine. Changed my life. Edit. Many thanks. Anonymous. Settlers of Catan. My sister is notorious for buying people gifts they won't like, just to try and impose her own interests on other people. This time it actually worked. My husband and I have been playing a lot during the lockdown. A friend of mine accidentally introduced me to the Hitachi magic wand when I was helping her move, and it dropped out of one of the boxes. She was entirely nonplussed. I think she laughed and said, "My baby." Single quote. I was somewhat of a prude at the time and was suitably scandalized at her being so open about having sex toys, especially the kind that you had to actually plug in like a fucking kitchen appliance. Yeah. That lasted all of 30 seconds after I bought one for myself on her later recommendation. Hoo boy. My friend introduced me to the definition of narcissistic personality disorder. I was going through a lot with my family and constantly being gaslighted. She sent me articles all about it, and I never felt more relieved to know I wasn't insane and I was actually being severely manipulated. The best thing I got out of my business and economics degree was when my friend gave me a John Mayer CD, back in 2002. Literally the reason I started playing guitar. Now it's my career. Edit. Thanks so much to everyone for your encouragement. So many have asked about my music. I don't normally mention it on Reddit because it's pretty niche. I do original music for kids and families full time. Yes, influenced by John Mayer and Stephen Curtis Chapman. I know it won't be everyone's cup of tea as it's Christian themes, but if you got kids and want some uplifting music, you can see a couple videos here. https. Dan Warlow. Com. Pages. Watch. My wife. 37 years ago. Magic the Gathering. I used to play when I was a kid and acquired a small collection. I haven't played for years and my cards sat in a box for well over a decade. Now my younger brother plays and it was great watching him go through them with excitement. Turns out some of them have been reprinted and are worth a bit. He was particularly excited that I had a bunch of unglued basic lands, so I gave them to him. I'd never have had any of these if my friend in school hadn't played. Reddit. On second thought, I'm not so sure I'm happy about it. Bloodborne. Themselves. Honestly, to myself, because I'm myself when in front of him, and I wouldn't have discovered myself if he wasn't my friend. Stardew Valley. It changed my perspective on a lot of things surprisingly. Like turning children into doves. It can be productive. Happiness. I was deeply depressed and in a bad state until I met my now closest friends. After meeting them, I was able to finally get better and am now in a place where I can be happy. Nice birthday gifts. Before I met them, I'd never really gotten much birthday gifts. I've always been the kind of person that always gets close people birthday gifts. But my friends bought me a teddy bear for my birthday and came to my home to hide it in my cupboard after I left for school. Then later, when they saw me at school, all 4 of them gave me stuff like earrings, rings, chokers and all that. Explosion boxes too with my pictures. Their writings. Our pictures together. Best friends I could ever ask for. I'm blessed. Buying better clothes. I used to buy everything at Goodwill even though I saved up enough money to spend it. Nothing matched and it didn't fit properly. Eventually my friend took me out. Told me to take some pride in my looks. And bought me new clothes. Looking back, I looked like the definition of a poor virgin. Thanks, Adam. The Smashing Pumpkins. Before that, my taste in music and what I listened to was wholly dictated by my brother and his elitism. My friend really opened my mind, and I feel like when I first heard Today, it was when I came of age. It really was the greatest day. Board games. Too bad after I'm married and got my son we never hang anymore. I kinda miss spending a whole day playing board games with my friends. I started living with my best friend cause we went to same city for college. She introduced my stubborn mind to accepting things I don't necessarily agree with. She taught me silently how to be a better listener. How to judge less. She taught me to enjoy silence and how meaningful silence can be. Only two people who are completely comfortable with each other can stand in silence and not be annoyed or uncomfortable. In return, I taught her to stood up for what she believes. To be a better speaker. I showed her how fun the noise can be. I introduced her to my friends. 'Cause she had just one beside me. A good friendship between two people who are complete opposites in everything they are and do, can change both of your lives for better. DND. After initially disliking it after my first session, I'm so glad I gave it another go. It's really helped me start getting creative with things again. Plus it's keeping us busy during quarantine. Our group just finished a campaign I joined on the tail end of, and I'm really excited to be part of the new long-term campaign from the very beginning. Not putting sugar in my coffee. My husband. That was over 20 years ago. Sobriety. My girlfriend. Though to be honest, I'd probably try to meet her regardless of if I had someone to make the introduction. Guitar. It's how I spend most days, forever grateful. Kayaking. Scuba diving. Cycling. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Bass. My friends play drums and guitar and they needed a bassist. I have never touched any instrument before and I didn't know anything about music, but they really wanted me in the band, so I tried it, and to this day I play hours and hours on my baby. It's the best thing ever. Anime. Was finally able to grow out a beard, but for some reason it's just growing around my neck. Thai food. My friend's parents had been stationed in Thailand for the Peace Corps. We went to a Thai restaurant and it blew my mind. There is a God and he's Thai and he wants us to be happy. Was all I could think after my first bite. Ween. Radiohead. Leslie Sansone's walk at home workout. Super cheesy. I know. But it got me into other fitness and take my life back in control after years of low self-esteem, depression and emotional eating. My friend introduced me to my wife. We had been friends for only a couple of months, but she was sure her friend and I would make a great couple. She was not wrong. League of Legends. 10 years later and I still hop on weekly to get called a fucking piece of shit bronze scrub that should kill myself. System of a Down. My career. I hated my old job. Landscaping. And he got me in at the company he worked for as a network technician. 7 years later both of our pay rates have doubled. And we're still partners at our third company together. Stephen King's books. He now is my favorite author by far. Rock climbing. 8 years later and it has taught me so many valuable skills. Mentally and physically. And given me so much. Some of the things climbing has given me. It has introduced me to competing in a sport, got me into training and fitness. I've met some of my best friends through climbing. I've been working in the industry for the last 3 years and that in itself has been an adventure, plus outdoor climbing has allowed me to do some awesome trips and see some beautiful places I otherwise may not have traveled to. Climbing has truly shaped who I am and changed my life. I will always be a climber and can't see my life without climbing. You all should try it if you haven't already. My best friend has a deep appreciation for nature. I can't quite explain it. But she just always sees beauty in everything. We'll be talking and suddenly she'll gasp and say, PM_me_statistics. Do you see this flower? It's so beautiful, haha. Her joy and her ability to see beauty in everything is something I've slowly adopted by being around her so much. Podcasts. I had listened to a few episodes of a metal show on my Zune HD years ago and thought the format was neat, like radio on demand. It wasn't until my friend recommended checking out a history podcast on Spotify years later that I really got into it. Now I listen to them daily. Probably more than music. Harry Potter. I was in my 20s when the series was released. I figured that it was some dumb kid's books. He bought me the first 4 books. When I finally got around to reading them, I was hooked. My enjoyment has outlasted the friendship. I hope that he's doing well. I love dive bars. I used to go to them and read. I was reading the 4th book in a biker bar in northern Minnesota. There was a group of a dozen bikers, all wearing the same vest. The tall guy in the middle yelled over at me, "Hey, what are you reading?" I yelled back, "Him, did you get to the part where?" Spoilers redacted. And that is how I had a 15-minute conversation in a biker bar about Harry Potter. And received several free beers. The concept that being gay is okay. Because of her, I'm no longer a homophobic asshat. Super Smash Bros. My Hero Academia and Demon Slayer. Before meeting my friend, I've never watched anime. Fresh grounded pepper on pizza. Self-compassion. Self-respect. That woman was insistent that I love myself and I love her for it. Unreal Tournament.